Hello and welcome to another edition of TNT Gaming Channel. I'm your host Toma, and today we'll be reviewing the latest FPS game to hit the shelves. Of course, it is Crysis 2. Now I know there are so many reviews and playthrough videos on YouTube for this game, and I did promise you something completely different. I mean, it says it on the title, right? Well, with that in mind, I will attempt to do something so unique during this review it will blow your freaking minds. That's it, I've decided. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stand on my head. Yep, you heard me. Mental, I know. I do scare myself sometimes. Okay, just going to get into position. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's do this thing before my arms give out. Crysis 2 is the hotly anticipated follow-up to the deeply idolised Crysis, a PC-only game from Crytek and EA Games. The first game was met with raving reviews, complimented for its stunning graphics and flawless gameplay, swiftly becoming a flag bearer for high-spec PC gaming. Engage smug mode while looking at console players, methinks? No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, Crysis 2 had a lot to live up to, and the developers decided on a fairly huge change to the format of Crysis that would either prove to be genius or insanity. Come release day, players were greeted with, surprise surprise, another beautiful game engine. CryEngine 3, as it's affectionately known, has polished up well, resulting in the player being able to drink in the urban, jungly goodness. That's it. Drink it in. Tastes good, doesn't it? Sorry, that was a bit weird. The buildings look fantastic, decorate with broken windows and explosive damage. Each building looks unique, and you can tell they've put the effort in instead of just cutting and pasting building template 1, 2 and 3 several times across the map. I mean, the map actually feels like you could be in New York, and as far as I can tell, I'm loving the graphics. I mean, I would give you a thumbs up, but my hands are holding me up right now, so you get a nod of the head, Crysis 2, well done. The actual gameplay is where I begin to cringe. The controls have changed so slightly, but it's the key things that were the ones to change, and so it becomes noticeable. I mean, the Q and E keys are now maximum strength, or as the game says, maximum strength, and cloak respectively, making the clunky wheel on mouse button 3 pointless. I mean, really redundant. Why bother to have that now, really? I mean, I practically never ever use that other stuff on there. Calm yourself, Tommy. You'll bring on another episode. I know why they've done this. Console gaming. I'm not blaming you for any of this, console gamers. I mean, I have a 360 myself, but I'm saying it seems the developers have decided to cater this game more to the console market, leaving PC gamers a bit underwhelmed. They expected to move forward after the first one, not a step to the side in some other direction. You want to appease both markets? Well, release 2 versions. I know, it's twice as much work, but twice as many happy customers, you might get twice as much money. Back to the game, and less politics from now on, I promise. The first 10 minutes of playing, I had actually moved my character like 20 feet. I'm not kidding. I did some walking, then some swimming. Oh, and another cutscene. Okay, another cutscene after this original cutscene. Marvellous. Finally, when you get into playing part of the game, it's actually okay. I mean, it's not great. Well, it's kind of boring, but it's not bad. It's kind of muddles along from there. I mean, before we go further, I just want to give you a couple of little notes to be made aware of when playing. For example, you like driving the boats in the first game, right? Being a city, you can't do that anymore. And they didn't replace it with any other vehicles, you just get jeeps and tanks like before. You like the open plan of the epic jungle island, teeming with vicious, crazy Korean soldiers and glowy squid aliens? Well, sure, I mean, who doesn't? Sorry, it's not in Crysis 2. You get what can only be described as the local militia turning up in their rent-a-car tanks, and no open map. It's confined to streets, making you follow one line of story. I mean, it feels like COD and being part of a film than deciding for yourself what to do. And yes, I did mention COD. I mean, so? In fact, whilst on that matter of COD, let's talk about multiplayer. It's literally Modern Warfare in nanosuits. That's it. Think, if I wanted to listen to 12-year-olds swearing constantly down the headset, or some stone-deaf idiot sing down the mic while I'm getting my kill on, I'd play Modern Warfare. Again, I'm not slagging off consoles at all, but you have to admit there is a lot of Bieber and Rihanna wannabes on COD multiplayer, agree? The last thing I want is that transferring over into Crysis on the consoles. The whole levelling to unlock stuff is fine, but it's kind of stale after all the recent COD games did it all to death, and I feel like I've had a belly full of that. Again, there's me expecting a step forward, and instead I'm left just ambling around like on the same spot like some drunken granddad at your mum and dad's Christmas party. One too many sherries, Crysis 2? Come on then, I'll put you to bed. Overall, Crysis seems to get lost in the dark green haze that is cold hard cash. Tapping into the console market is a logical next step for Crytek, and with EA leaning on them, I imagine it was only a matter of time. But there are ways around it, and changing a winning formula was not it. The gameplay's good, the graphics are superb as usual, and the story is slow to get going, although it does pick up in the second half of the campaign. It's a mixed bag, I guess. My advice, if you're a PC fan and you played the first one, then have a hard think about whether it's worth the cash. For console fans, get out there and get it. You're in for a treat. That's it. Leave a comment below. Please like us so that I feel like I'm loved, please. Or send an email to tntgamingchannel@hotmail.co.uk and let me know what you think. Honestly, I do want to know. Now I'm getting down now as the blood is literally seeping from my tear ducts. Laters.
Listen up, Marines. Time to go get this Dr. Gould. Get your asses forward.